Hi, welcome to another lecture of JS Yatra, and in this particular lecture we are going to implement our own version of queue. So without wasting any time, try to understand what a queue is. So queue is a data structure. It is a FIFO structure. So first in, first out, quite opposite to a stack. And we have been using queue for a long time, and we implemented queue in the BFS as well. That was a shortened version of that, but here we'll be implementing the whole queue thing in the form of classes. So let us first try to understand what are the basics of a queue. So queue is, as said, is a first in first out structure, which means that let's suppose this is a queue and you are enqueuing anything. So it means that you are pushing an item from the back, and whatever was the first element to be enqueued is the element that is dequeued first. So think of relating it to a stack. DQ here means pop and NQ here means push. Okay, although the behavior is opposite, but the meaning you can try to understand it from this way. DQ is like removing item from the queue, you DQ anything, and NQ is like when you are inserting anything inside the queue. So you insert the item from the back and you remove item from the front. Okay, this is what the queue data structure is, and we are having two pointers, front and back, and this we are going to implement in the class based solution as well. So NQ, DQ, front and back. So this is a basic, and it is a first in first out structure. So enough of talking, and now it is the time for us to write the code. I have a quick test over here for us to check if we are getting correct values or not. So let's start off with the class queue. So I have created some basic stuffs over here. This is the class queue. This is the constructor of the class. You can enqueue item, you can dequeue item, you can check if the queue is empty. Front back tells you that which item is present in the front. So which item is present in the front, which item is present in the back, and what is the length of this particular queue. So we'll move this length thing after the DQ. Okay, yeah, this is all right. So in the constructor, whenever a queue is initialized, first of all, we'll be maintaining the storage for all the items. So this dot items equals to an array. No, it is not going to be arrays this time, because if we include array, then we'll be needing push, pop, and shift unshift operations, and it will increase the complexity of the code. Instead, I want to perform insertion and deletions in the O1 time complexity. So to achieve that, we'll be using objects, and we'll understand in a manner how. So items would be containing object, and we'll maintaining the start and the end. So I'll call start as the head, and I'll call the last as the tail, head and tail fashion. So we got this, and so head and tail are just pointers of the numbers. So if the head, if you are pushing anything, you start off with 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, and similarly with the tail as well. So we'll see that in a moment. So this is the in queue. So now is the time for us to add any item onto the queue, and this is really very easy. So first of all, this dot items, so this dot tail equals to item. So what we did very simple stuff, is that as discussed in the video also, in the image, that when we enqueue items from the back, so here also we are creating a item on the back, and I am creating a key is 0. So in the object we'll be having a key 0, which would store our item, then it would be 1, which will again store some another item, and so on. So this is what we are going to accomplish with this code. This dot items and this dot tail equals to item. So we are adding an item at the tail, and I am increasing the index of the tail. So this dot tail plus plus, and NQ is, I think, expected to return the length of the queue. So we'll just return this dot length, and that's it. So length is over here, which would be computed in a while. So this was the logic for enqueuing any item. Now the logic for dequeuing any stuff is again really very simple. You can only dequeue if the queue is not empty. If the queue is empty, then we have to return undefined. So if this dot is empty, okay, is empty is a function which we are going to implement in a moment. So hold on to that. If the queue is empty, then return undefined. If it is not empty, then you fetch the item named as element, from where you dequeue from the front, right? Remember, we dequeue from the front. So this dot items, this dot head, okay, I got the item just now, and we have to remove the data from the object as well. So delete this particular stuff, this dot item, this dot head, and I just return the element, and I am also going to like increase the head pointer. Why did we increase the head pointer? Because next time when you are dequeuing any stuff over here, you have to make sure that you are dequeuing at the right index. Okay, so this is the thing. So over here, when we are dequeuing for the first time, so let's say if we are having it at index 0, okay, now we have to move to index 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, like this. So dequeuing is that is why we are incrementing the head pointers, so that we can like move on to the next item. Otherwise we'll get stuck on the same process. And remember that after dequeue, like after this particular dequeue, our head is coming to this, okay, this particular pointer, this is being pointed over here. And after enqueue over here, remember that when we enqueue anything, we are incrementing the index to a empty space, okay, that is not containing anything. So let's suppose 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and when you enqueue at index 5, after enqueuing at index 5, you can see that we are incrementing the tail by plus plus by 1. So it would now move to one pointer ahead. So it was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now after enqueue, the tail will point to 6. Okay. So when you want to check the last item of the queue, make sure that you decrement the tail by 1, so that you get the accurate index. I hope that was clear. So this was the DQ stuff, and we have a length and is empty and a front and back. So to get the length of the queue, it is really very simple. That just make sure, remember that queue is always pointing to one pointer ahead. So it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but the queue pointer is pointing at the 5, because why? We have discussed just now that we are incrementing the tail. Okay, tail is always pointing one step ahead. So 0 to 5, so if we subtract 5 and 0, we get 5. Okay, all we need to do is subtract start head index from the tail, and we'll get the number of items. So to get the length, all you have to do is return this dot tail minus this dot head, and we are good to go. And to check that if the queue is empty, the queue is only empty when if we subtract like if the length is 0. Okay, this is what we have to do when it is empty. So we can check that if return this dot length, if the length is equals to 0, then it means that the queue is empty. Or we could have said that if this dot tail is equal to this dot head, then the queue is empty. Okay, that is one possible scenario as well. Okay, for the front and for the back, I think it is no longer a mystery for you. If you want to fetch the first pointer, all you have to do is this dot items and this dot head. Okay, you get the start, and to get the back, what you have to do is return again this dot items, and this dot tail, but we have to subtract it by 1 because tail is always pointing one pointer ahead. Okay, so this was the queue data structure for us, and if I just save this, I am getting true 1 2 3. Okay, this is returning 3 is returned twice. Why? Because we got the length of the queue. Okay, so when we enqueue, we get the length every time as a return. So when we enqueued one item, we got 1. When we enqueued 2, we got 2. When we enqueued 3, we got 3. The length is 3. The front is 1. The back is 3. The DQ is 1 and is empty is false. Okay, this is working perfectly fine. So this was the queue data structure for us. The time complexity for delete and the insert operation is bigger of 1. Why? Because we are using an object, and seeking any property in the object takes O1 complexity. Alright, so this was all in this particular video. I hope you understood this concept. If you have any doubts, then please ask me on the Discord channel or on the community channel. I am active there. So yeah, this was all in this particular video. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Goodbye.